Well, we speculated, and we discovered that we were indeed correct. The Joe Kesseler personality is the writhing mass that is inside of Butcher's body. And we get confirmation from that when he's talking about killing Ezekiel. He's like, "You weren't strong enough to kill Ezekiel, so I took control and I did that, and we need to finish the mission." The mission being creating the super virus that is essentially going to wipe out all the suits across the entire planet. And of course, we get to see the Becca personality essentially return again and attempt to talk down Butcher from off of this ledge, where she's like, "Look, if you create a virus that kills everyone, you're killing all of the good soups as well who are doing good things, such as Starlight and such as Ryan. If this thing gets airborne, it just decides to kill every single person across the entire planet." Now, the thing about airborne pathogens and it moving across the planet, infecting other people, when a virus infects you, it changes certain parameters of itself to be more effective against you. When you pass that virus on from yourself to someone else, it takes on those vectors of change that it essentially did in order to affect you to affect someone else. It's the equivalent of COVID. When COVID first occurred, it was, I don't remember what the number was at the end of COVID, but as it progressed throughout the entire year, we got the A variant, the B variant. They started having other variants because as it infected other people and evolved in order to essentially make them sick, by the time that person's sick and he passes it on to somebody else, it's changed a little bit, then it changes a little bit again, then it goes to a massive change where it's not being affected by the same drugs or antibiotics that it was before, and now it's a whole new, it's essentially a whole new disease and a whole new ball game. For Butcher to create something that can kill soups, is strong enough to kill soups, there's no telling whether or not this virus isn't going to end up becoming supercharged in some type of way where it ends up mutating and it's no longer only just killing soups, it's also killing, let's say, humans. It could go from a virus that attacks the V inside the bloodstream to a virus that attacks whatever the protein is that the V attaches itself to in the bloodstream. We see a variation of this, funny enough, in Days of Future Past, where in Days of Future Past, the Sentinels were only targeting people with the X gene. Then it targeted people with the potential to have people that, or with the potential to give birth to kids with the X gene. Then it started targeting people that had dormant X genes inside of them. Escalation. And I like the fact that the Becca personality was like, there's a tier to this. There's no telling what type of chaos and death you will cause if you put this out into the world. But at the exact same time, on the opposite side of that fence is the Joe Kesseler personality, is the devil personality that's like, dog, we've been in this fight for how many years? After she died? No. Homelander has to go, and if killing Homelander means wiping out every single soup on the planet like you said we would, then we are killing every single soup on the planet, and it does not matter whether or not we end up killing the entire planet in the process. Great. Having both of them basically talking in his ear, meanwhile the fucking doctor's on the ground like, this guy is absolutely fucking insane. And he wants me to do something that is absolutely fucking insane. Just watching him go back and forth as he spirals and he's figuring out the fact that, you know, Joe's fake and he was never there the entire time and it was always the cancer talking to him. Brav fucking O. Brav fucking O. I love the fact that the cancer can talk shit where he's like, motherfucker, you didn't save me. You left me behind to die while you saved yourself. It is in line with the type of person that Butcher is, where at his core, Butcher is not a good person. That is one of the reasons why the good side of him takes the form of Becca, because Becca was the good in his life. She was the person that was basically pointing him down the right path. So of course that personality would take on that persona of his wife. And having his dark persona be this guy that was just as cruel and just as evil as he was, but Butcher was the one who abandoned to essentially die, having that person be the one to egg him on and push him down the path. Also perfect. And I really can't wait to see what happens when Butcher decides, if he decides not to go through with it, whether or not, because we know that that thing inside of him is alive. We saw that in the last episode where it's bursting out of the rabbit. It is going to be interesting to see whether or not Butcher, when he decides not to go down that path, if those tentacles inside him essentially rebel in some type of way and attempt to like rip themselves out of his body or burst themselves out of his body or something along those lines. That's going to be interesting to see. But let me know what you guys think about the angel and devil personas that are currently at war inside of Butcher's head. Who do you think is going to end up winning this little fight? Is it going to be Becca with the last bit of good inside of Butcher, being able to tame and silence the dark passenger that Butcher's basically carrying with him? Or is Butcher just going to give in to his dark passenger? And is that going to feed into one of my other theories, which is that by the end of this season, Ryan may be the one who ends up dead, and Homelander's just going to just lose his shit, and it's going to escalate into what we are going to be getting in next season? Comment down below, let me know, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.